Hi students, good morning to all of you. Today we have to discuss about the Rutherford's planetary model. In the last class, already discussed about that Geiger Marsden experiment and what the observations we followed from the Geiger Marsden experiment. And with that of observations, now we have to conclude how the Rutherford planetary model here it is going on. Now we have to see the postulates of Rutherford planetary model, otherwise nuclear model. The first postulate, what was given means the total mass and charge of the nucleus that was concentrated at its center of the atom is called as nucleus and is having the radius or the size of the atom is approximately 10 power minus 10 meters. The second one, what is it means? The size of the nucleus, it was given here. Ten power minus 15 meters. 10 power in the order of 10 power minus 15 meters and also called as femto, otherwise 1 Fermi. In the order of Fermis, it will be calculated. Fermi means 10 power minus 15 meters. Why? This size of the nucleus was decided by 10 power minus 15 meters means. So whenever the electron here is going to head on collision, then only one alpha particle out of 10 power 6 alpha particles is going to get deviated. The scattering angle is 180 degrees. That means only out of 10 power 6 atoms, only one atom directly going to get head-on collision with that of positive nucleus. Hence what happened? Where the head-on collision takes place, there the size of the nuclei here is going to calculated by using R0. So that means the closest distance of closest approach. Just in the last class it was calculated. How much we got? R0 is equal to on the order of 10 power minus 14 meters. So by means of this one only the size of nucleus was calculated as 10 power minus 15 meters or in the order of Fermis. Similarly here the third postulate, what is giving means in between the nucleus and the electrons around the nucleus there is a hollow space, there is an empty space in between them. Why? Because from the Geiger Marsden experiment what he told that 99.84 alpha particles not deviated. There is no deviation takes place per day. 99.84% of the particles, and only that 0.14% of the alpha particles that they are deviating greater than 1 degree. And also you know that here those alpha particles very near to the nucleus due to the Coulombic repulsive forces they are getting more scattered angle. That means the theta more than 90 degrees for 1 in every 8,000 particles. Now the final one, where the closest approach, that means in the head-on collision for every only one alpha particle is getting head-on collision out of 10 power 6 alpha scattered particles. So out of 10 power 6 alpha particles, only you can get the head-on collision and retraces back. So by means of this one only, we concluded that the R hat value in the order of 10 power minus 14 and R hat value is definitely greater than the size of the nucleus, hence it will be considered as the size of the nucleus is equal to 10 power minus 10. So from this, what we understand, in between the nucleus and the electrons, more space here it is there. So this space completely hollow or empty space. Why? Because the size of atom is 10 power minus 10 meters, whereas size of nucleus is 10 power minus 15 meters. With compare, if both we are comparing, then the size of the atom is 10 power 5 or 10 power 6 times the size of nucleus. So hence there is empty space in between them. Next postulate, the fourth one, electrically neutral. That means the number of electrons revolved around the nucleus is equal to the number of protons within the center. That means number of electrons is equal to the number of protons at its center. So 4. By means of this one, the atom is electrically neutral. Next, the fifth one, what was given means these electrons revolved around the nucleus. The electrons revolved around the nucleus like this one is the sun, and here this one is the earth, and this one is the radiation between them. So how the earth it is revolved around the sun, in the similar manner the electron is revolved around the nucleus in a proper orbit. And the sixth one, what he said, sixth one is, this one is the nucleus and these are the electrons in different orbits oriented around the nucleus in different paths are called as orbits. Now here the centripetal force Fc, that means the required centripetal force for revolving electrons around the nucleus is provided by the attraction force in between them. That means the electrostatic attraction force which gives the necessary centripetal force between the nucleus and the electron. Therefore, Fe means electrostatic force and Fc means the Coulombic force. Now we know that from the Coulomb's law, Fe, how we have defined this? Fe is equal to 1 by 4 by epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by d square. Q1 means electron charge E and Q2 means the charge of the proton, and divided by the distance between them. Let us consider small r. Then here we have to take 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught E into E divided by r square. So from this one, how we have to write 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught E square divided by r square. Similarly, the centripetal force Fc is equal to mv square by r, where m is the mass of the electron, v is the velocity of the rotating electron around the nucleus, and small r is the distance between nucleus and the electron revolved in the atom. Now, this 1 and 2 substituted into the equation, then we got Fe equal to Fc. What we got here? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught E square divided by r square is equal to Fc means mv square by r. So that this r, it was cancelled one time, then we got 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught E square by r is equal to mv square. So from this one, here we have to determine the kinetic energy of the electron revolved around the nucleus and the radius of the electron revolved around the nucleus, and also mass of the electron. And next concept, the limitations of the Rutherford planetary model. Some disadvantages are there within this Rutherford's planetary model. He could not explain the spectrum of atom. He could not explain atomic spectral lines, and he could not explain the stability of an atom. So that means, let us suppose here, this one is the nucleus and here this one is the electron. According to Rutherford planetary model, the electron, revolving electron, always radiates energy. So while it is radiating the energy, after some time it may lost. That's what happened. The energy gradually decreases. Due to that decrease in energy, it is not going to maintain within the circular path. Hence what happened here? It may very close to the nucleus and finally followed by the trajectory path, and finally it must into the nucleus, and it was spoiled. The atom, it was spoiled. But it is not going up. It is stabilized. But this one was not explained by the Rutherford planetary mode. And next concept is the electron orbits. Just now only discussed the postulates of the Rutherford. In that one, what he has given? The electrostatic force repels the electrostatic attraction force between the electron and the nucleus, which supplies the necessary centripetal force between the electron and the nucleus. According to that, Fe is equal to Fc. In this one, now we have to determine the orbit. In the orbit, the electron, how much distance it is maintained from the nucleus. That is small r we have to determine. And in the orbit, while it is moving, what velocity it has and what the kinetic energy it has, and by means of these formulas, we have to determine. Now you see here, Fe is equal to Fc. Already it was given. Fe means, let us suppose this is the electron who is having m mass and is having v velocity, and it is revolving around the nucleus at the distance small, and the kinetic energy here you have to take the Ke half mv square. Then according to the Coulomb's law, Fe is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by r square. So Q1 means the charge of proton, the charge of nucleus E, and the charge of electron is E. So that E into E, V square, and divided by distance between them, square of distance between them, which gives that r square. Let it be here 1. Similarly, centripetal force Fc is equal to mv square by r. That this one is the expression number 2. Now these two submitted into the postulate of the Rutherfords. Then what will give? Therefore, Fe is equal to Fc. So 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught E square divided by r square is equal to mv square by r. From this, r in r square, one time it was cancelled. Then we got it. From this, we have to determine the value of r. That means the radius of orbit of an electron. R is equal to, how we have to find out here? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. R will be here means mv square. Then we have to write E square by mv square. And next, from this we have to write v value, otherwise v square value, how we have to write? So that from this only we have to write v square. V square is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught E square by m. So from this one, we have to determine the kinetic energy also. By using this equation, kinetic energy K is equal to half mv square is equal to, we have to write half m. V square means we have to submit this value. Then 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught E square by m. This one is the kinetic energy. So from this m cancel each other. Then we got the kinetic energy K. Here you may take like 1, 2 4s are 8. 1 by 8 pi epsilon naught E square by R. This is the kinetic energy. Now we have to determine the potential energy of the electron within the orbit while it is revolving around the nucleus. So the potential energy PE is equal to U is equal to, how we have to write the formula, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught minus, it is there here. If you are not taking the, if you are considering the direction also means minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R. Now we have to apply. Q1 means proton charge E and Q2 means electron charge E. Now we have to apply. Then the potential energy P is equal to, Q is equal to minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught E square divided by R. This is the potential energy. Now we have to determine the total energy of an electron revolved around the nucleus is. Therefore, the total energy E is equal to sum of kinetic energy and potential energy. Now we have to take the kinetic energy 1 by 8 pi epsilon naught E square by R, and the potential energy minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught E square by R. Therefore, the total energy is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught E square by R common. Then 1 by 2 minus 1. 1 minus half is half. Minus half we got. Therefore, the total energy of an electron within the orbit was given minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught E square by R into half. Then it will be considered as the total energy. Formula for this minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught E square 1 by 8 pi epsilon naught E square by R. Whereas the total energy is negative. The total energy is negative indicates what it is representing means the electron is always towards the nucleus. For example, this one is the nucleus and here this one is the electron. Then it is always attracted towards the nucleus, that it was given that negative. For example, the total energy is positive, then here it is indicating that the electron around the nucleus, it is not circulated into the circular path, that means in the orbit. So the negative or the positive, what it is indicating in this manner. So thank you very much.